Ah, the Nintendo Switch, home to such amazing titles like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart 8, the new Smash Bros. Ultimate game, and so many more. And out of all the games I chose to review this week, I chose this one. Kitten Squad in and of itself isn't exactly a bad game, it's just not very alluring, nor is it very interesting. It's quite boring, actually. And that's the one big downfall, is that it really feels like it has no story to tell, and it just can't keep you hooked. It sets out to be a decent bullet hell, and I commend it for that, but it just really doesn't have a story or anything substantial that you can connect to, hook to, and really keep you invested long term throughout the game. The game starts you off as generic cat character 1, 2, 3, or 4. You have no idea how hard that actually was to say. This game can be a cooperative experience with up to 4 players, or you can play it solo, and that's how I'm playing it in this review today. And for note, I did not try to play it with anybody else. I did approach people, no one seemed to really be interested, so I'm not going to talk about if it becomes better or worse with cooperativity, but most games get better with friends. We'll just say that. The greatest downfall of this game is its story, or lack thereof, as each of the missions does have a story based around a character and why you need to save them, but your character, the cat, does not have any reason for doing this. It has no backstory or explanation, and none of the characters have a name or anything even. The bird doesn't have a name, the deer doesn't have a name, and the pirate cat doesn't have a name. They're just there to do mission-giving task thing, and then you go on to actually care about these animals who need to be saved, but what do you get for this? And I will make the argument that it is not my cup of tea. It very well could be the actual case that I'd prefer to at least be able to name my character and not be just a nameless volunteer who just so happens to get thrown into this. I just kind of wish there was a little bit more backstory to why the cat has the ability to do this and X, Y, or Z. But at the end of the day, it's not terrible, it's just not very gripping. That's the word I'm going with. Will be gripping. It doesn't grip me and hold me in a way like normal stories should. It's just a bunch of missions that you get to play through and kill things. Along with the story, the game feels pretty bare bones. Honestly, I'm kind of disappointed when I compare it to things like Binding of Isaac and other games of the nature. It's just really disappointing, but for a free game, I can't say I expected much more, because it does get across the basis of being a bullet hell with having variety in the weapons that you can pick up from drops. It has some customization, and it does its job, and it doesn't look completely terrible while doing it. There's a couple of nitpicks and a couple of porting issues, but other than that, it services the job. The game controls just as I would expect a bullet hell to control. Honestly, it is an option. Having a moving stick and the firing stick, you push the stick, it fires. It's not rocket science, it's not very hard. And the game feels pretty responsive. It's a little clunky at times, but I feel like it's because of the nature of what the game is and not so much how it is. The firing mechanic itself is, fine and feels okay. The base gun is like a great starter weapon, but it can easily be overpowered, it seems, by the amount of enemies, as a couple of these actually can. There are a few weapons that just hinder you it's so hard, it is absurd. Anything with the rockets I tend to avoid. I tend to avoid the one laser that kind of does this fire and a womp womp. I'll have it on screen here. It is honestly one of the weirdest weapons to have in the game, and it's just if I'm playing a bullet hell, I don't exactly plan on using one of those. I need something that continuously fires and just keeps doing damage. I like anything that ricochets, the electric zap gun that ricochets. These don't have names, so I'm giving them names as we go. And the bullets that bounce off the walls are just fantastic. They're absolutely fantastic, and those are my favorite ones by far. Flamethrower is okay. I didn't get a lot of time with it, though. The game looks relatively okay. There's nothing really too crazy or problematic with it. There are a couple of nitpicky things where you can tell that it was put in there post-haste and is a little off, like the minus button for the menu down in the lower corner, as well as you can see a gray hue behind your cat. But other than that, the game itself really doesn't look that bad. It's in the God view form, and the textures and everything look okay. It looks like it's a mobile port onto the Switch, which isn't a rarity anymore, so it's like, okay, whatever. However, I am really, really disappointed with the music, as the music does have some interesting lyrical and almost intrinsic, like, melodies and harmonies and stuff like that. The only problem with it is that it repeats, and it feels like there's only 1 to 2 tracks in the game, and that there's never really any change, because, you know, you keep dying and then it doesn't change up. Well, what am I supposed to do with that, you know? Like, it doesn't help build an atmosphere to keep you playing the game long term. And this game ultimately fails in just keeping longevity. It could if it fleshed out a couple of the problems that it had. And I honestly think that this was the closest thing PETA's ever done to actually having a proper, like, game or a proper medium that they have backed and almost gotten into, and could have used it to change minds and not act like the random stupid company that they and organization that they tend to be. But at the end of the day, it still fell short because they decided to give it away for a free price tag, and I don't know if there's any microtransactions in it. From what I can tell, there isn't, but there could be, so I would stay wary as it is a free game in 2018. It's kind of difficult for me to actually base this game off of my personal scale, as the game just doesn't lend itself to it. There's no purchasing aspect to Kitten Squad. So I'm going to just state that you guys should play this game at your own risk. Know what you're getting into, and that I personally don't think it's worth it, worth the space on your Switch or whatever. I think you should know what you're getting into, and that if you want to play this game, it is going to satisfy you for a short while if you turn your brain off, and it'll get that job done for you. But if you want more in-depth thought and stuff like that, I would highly recommend going and playing Binding of Isaac or another equally as good bullet hell. I would also like to take this time here at the end of the video to apologize for missing this upload this week. I dropped the ball when it came to realizing that it was going to be my week, and was just hard focusing on my college finals, and Wednesday came and I had nothing, so I apologize a ton. It's here on Sunday, so it's still technically my week, and I look forward to seeing Matthew's review on Wednesday, and I absolutely just can't apologize enough to you guys. I want to thank you guys for watching another video here on That Game Review Show. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave it a like, subscribe. If you are new here, we are uploading every Wednesday, unless you're my stupid ass. But I hope you guys did enjoy it. I hopefully will be reviewing Red Dead Redemption 2 very, very soon. I'm almost through it, as well as a couple of other great games that I've got in the works lately. So I can't wait to see you guys then, and take care of yourselves.